Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to have a conversation with actor Scott Cohen. Scott has been in so many different projects, including Gilmore Girls, The 10th Kingdom, Street Time, and Allegiance. Most recently, you can see Scott in The Girls on the Bus and in the movie The Feeling that the time for doing something has passed. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so excited to be talking with you.
I'm excited to be talking with you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Let's get started.
Sure.
What has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
What job has had the biggest impact?
Who has had the biggest impact?
Oh, who has had the biggest impact? I would probably say my wife has probably had the biggest impact on me. We met each other so long ago, and we kind of grew up in the industry together. And her name is Anna, and she just really through her support and through her, she's also she was an actor, she's a writer, she's an artist. So we our relationship really was all about how we can be better and how we could do more and how we could continue to express ourselves. So I would say that she's probably the biggest impact on me.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
As a person or as a professional?
Well, the first question was professionally, so now person.
Oh, the first person. Well, the first one was professional. Well, person is definitely my wife Anna. Um, Let me just backtrack then. So professionally, I would say, like the biggest impact is multifaceted. So the biggest impact uh, is both. Is not both. There's multiple levels. So biggest impact has to do with who gave you jobs at certain times in your life and the types of jobs that they were. Um, when I did NYPD Blue, David Milch was a huge impact on me, the writer of that show. The two men that created Street Time were very influential, Richard Stratton and Mark Levin. Um, my acting teacher, Bob Modica, was very impactful on my professional career. I would say um, my wife again, absolutely impactful on my professional career and definitely my personal my life. And and I would guess my managers who I've been with for over 35 years, Heather Reynolds and Richard Bricerni, and Anthony Aiello, they are probably the closest to me in terms of professionalism, and they have been a huge impact in my life.
Wow, that's so cool. I love that. Um, so how do you stay motivated even on days when you aren't really feeling it?
Yeah, what a good question. Um, it's very hard. I, I would say, well, I always have something to do. So it's always, I'm either um, working on a script or I'm looking for a job or I'm auditioning or I'm reading something that has to do with my work. Um, I definitely keep, I have a house and I do stuff around the house that keeps me very, very busy. So that keeps me just alive, I guess. But motivationally, it's a very difficult thing because there's so many peaks and valleys in this business. But to remain kind of steady, um, I try to just create projects for myself and little things, whether it's writing something or or reading plays or screenplays or books, just to kind of like unfortunately with social media, you doom scroll, and that takes up an enormous
Yeah.
amount of time. But that takes up a lot of motivational time. So I try really hard not to do that.
Yeah. That's good. I'm still working on, yeah, trying not to do that.
Yeah, it's every day is a struggle.
Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Um, Waking up, that that brings me a lot of joy. Um, my wife brings me a lot of joy. Seeing her smile in the morning brings me a lot of joy. Um, the walking outside, coffee brings me a lot of joy, actually. Um, Walking outside my house, it brings me a lot of joy. I have a dog who I love dearly. She brings me a lot of joy. Um, my son is a really interesting person, and he's always doing something fascinating. So he brings me a lot of joy. I say little things bring me joy, and then little things bring me down. Really, it's actually living this life is so fragile. The smallest thing, you're so vulnerable. The smallest thing could affect you either way.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so what is something that people are always surprised to learn about you?
Um, is anybody surprised anymore? Um, I don't know. I guess like like when I post stuff like on Instagram or something, I think like you know it might be surprising that the things that I try to do outside of the business, I guess, build a house, cook, um, uh, um, play any kind of like some kind of game or something, whether like whatever it might be, um, traveling. I don't know. I'm not really sure what surprises people. Um, that's a good question. What do you think? What surprises you about me?
Um, I don't know.
I'm sitting in a barn, right?
Yeah,
That's unfinished. That you can see plastic. This is
yeah,
I'm working on this whole barn, and
yeah,
I'm renovating it. I think that might be surprising to people.
yeah.
Um, I don't think that I'm like I don't. I mean, maybe some types of movies that I do or something. I don't really know. That's a good question. I'm not really sure what people think. What people are surprised by.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I will say I renovating that you're renovating the barn. That's I think really interesting, and so yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. I mean, it's as you can see, this side is done, except it's not
Yeah,
painted. That side is far from
yeah,
done, and that side is far from done.
yeah,
Um, it's a very long process. I mean, everything that I do, like right now, I'm building we have chickens, and I'm building a chicken run, and I'm basically, I would say if somebody that was really smart about building things was on a scale of 1 to 10, I put myself at a 2.
yeah,
So there's constant mistakes being done. A lot of frustration goes on. A lot of driving to the hardware store.
yeah.
Um, and so I mean but I do it all myself. So like we don't hire anybody. I mean I guess we should sometimes, but I usually do stuff by myself. So things take an enormous amount of time.
Oh, yeah. My mom has told me and my sister always stories of like our grandfather used to try and fix a lot of things. And he'd always end up making them worse. And so
Right.
eventually whenever he went to the hardware store, they'd always just be like, okay, this is how much it would be if you tried to do it, this is how much it would be if you just let us do it.
Totally. Yeah. That. Yeah. I'm just like your grandfather.
Um,
Exactly the same. Which was like my father. My father, who was very good. Like he was good at like all the house stuff, but he fudged a lot of stuff. Like he did know what he was doing, but he he knew it to a certain extent, but he just kept on going. And then so it's really fun though. It's like it's really fun to put stuff together. It's really fun to see something that's completed. It's really fun, it's fun to make the mistakes and then say, oh my God, why did I do that? Why didn't I do this?
yeah.
I just, I mean, I just messed up, the chicken run. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Um, is there someone who without fail always makes you laugh?
My wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big laughter.
Yeah.
She's very funny.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, my mom and my sister always, whenever we're all together, it's usually we're just all making each other laugh and so,
It makes for a good life. It makes,
yeah.
yep.
That's,
I learned today, I learned 2 days ago. I learned that if you hug somebody for over 20 seconds, there's some chemical released in your body. And if you're hugging them, like, and you mean it obviously, but if you're hugging them, for 20 seconds, this chemical gets released. And so you feel really good after the 20 seconds. And if you kiss somebody for 6 seconds, the kiss for 6 seconds does the same thing as the hug for 20 seconds. And so we've been experimenting, and it works.
wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah, try it with somebody.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, um, yeah. So who do you consider to be the gold standard for acting?
The gold standard for acting. I think Kate Blanchett is a great is a gold standard for acting. I think Maggie Smith is a gold standard of acting. Ian McKellen, Robert De Niro. Um, I think um, I think Emily Blunt is pretty gold standard.
Yeah.
I think is that enough?
Yeah. I mean, you can keep going. I'm happy that.
No, that like gold standard. Pretty. It's a fine. It's a very fine field. Um, yeah, Kate Blanchett, I think, is really super talented.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I
And
actually,
Kate Winslet.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love all those people that you just mentioned. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I interviewed Emily Blunt when I was doing my show at Seacrest Studios.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
and yeah, it was very surreal to be talking with her.
I also think Angela Bassett. I think she's a gold standard. And Denzel Washington. I think he's a gold standard.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, he's major gold standard. And Angela Bassett, who I think just she surprises me.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, she's so talented. I love her.
Me
Yeah,
too. Me too.
yeah. Um So I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Hacks.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I love that show.
Yeah, I think it's so funny. I
Yeah.
don't know the girl's. I forget the girl's name. The young girl who's in it,
Um,
who plays
oh
Eva. Eva
yeah.
or Ava?
uh, Yeah. Oh yeah, Ava. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Jean
Yeah.
Smart, who is really great, and then there's the younger girl. Do you know the show I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I love that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I'm a little obsessed with that show. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not obsessed with. I mean, I binged The Gentleman, um, and I thought that was great. But I'm a huge Guy Ritchie fan. Um, but I'm not obsessed with any one show at the moment.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I have recently there are older shows that I'm like rewatching, and I mean not like a few years older. I mean I have always been obsessed with the show White Collar, and it came back on Netflix a few months ago, and since it's been back on Netflix, it's been on all the time, just on a constant loop. So
Yeah. That's old already. That's an old show now.
yeah,
That's Matt Bomer, right?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I am obsessed with that show, and they just recently announced that there's gonna be a reboot,
No
which
way.
I yeah, which I was so excited when I read that.
With the two guys, with the same two guys.
Yeah, with the all of the original cast.
Well, that's if it, I forget the other guy's name. It's Matt Bomer and the other guy.
Tim DeKay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I am yeah, just completely obsessed with that show. So
That's cool. That's cool. USA had a lot of good shows back in the day.
yeah, did yeah. Um yeah, just immediately I can think of three that are like my all-time three of my all-time favorite shows that were on
What
USA.
what are they?
So there was, yeah, White Collar, Psych. I think that was on you. Yeah, on
Yeah, totally.
USA.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, oh, what I can't remember if Royal Pains was on USA.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Okay,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
cool. Yeah, those are three of my just
Yeah.
all-time favorite shows.
They were all great.
Yeah,
Psych was really good,
yeah,
and they all lasted for a long time.
yeah. Did yeah. Yeah, so yeah, and I just constantly those are three I just kind of have on a loop. Especially because Royal Pains also came back to Netflix at the beginning of the year. So
I hope my show comes back to Netflix. My USA show, Necessary Roughness.
yeah,
That
yeah,
would be cool.
yeah. That's what yeah. Yeah, and but also Gilmore Girls is on a loop a lot. So yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Oh gosh, a warning label. Um, uh, Stay back. Very explosive.
I like that. Um, is there a song that always makes you emotional whenever you hear it?
There's so many songs that make me emotional. I would say, um, the Pogues, Christmas song, Christmas Day or whatever that's called. That gets me really emotional. No, A Christmas in New York. That's a pretty emotional song there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's many songs that yeah will make me emotional that I love but I can't listen to all the time
Yeah,
unless I
yeah,
want to
no,
cry.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, I know. You don't want to like go into the space.
Yeah,
Totally understand that.
yeah. But I have not heard that song, so I'll have to look that up.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful song.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Um, a sitcom?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question. Well, my life's not over yet, so
Yeah.
I would have somebody else kind of pick that out. Um, it's not horror, thank God.
Yeah.
Um, although I know people that have horror lives. Um, I, I guess kind of like a romantic comedy, and so, kind of in a certain sense.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are the most proud of?
I'm, you know, I am really proud of, to be honest with you, I'm really proud of getting to the point where I am now.
Yeah.
And I think that I am fortunate enough to have had some kind of career that has taught me a great deal of both personal um, stamina and steadiness, and professional stamina and steadiness. And I feel that that's always a struggle. But I feel like the older I get, and um, not necessarily the more I do, but just where I am, I feel like that makes me the proudest. Like, oh, I do know what I'm doing. I'm okay. I don't need to I need to work hard, but work hard in a way that is joyful and has good results, and um, is not filled with all the stuff that kind of gets in the way of doing good work. So
Yeah.
I think I'm most proud of that.
Yeah.
And besides that, in terms of certain jobs, I feel like certain things that I've done, I I'm really proud of everything. I mean, I'm very um I work really hard, and I'm really and I respect people who I work with, and I hope they respect me. And I come onto a set, or I walk onto a stage wanting only the best. And so my work ethic, I think, is all about, wanting to do good work and work hard and ask questions and debate and discover things. And so I think that's what I'm most proud of. I think I'm most proud of the idea that my curiosity has never waned. So I'm still very curious. I'm still very interested. I'm still very wowed by things. I'm not cynical, really. I get angry sometimes if like, how come I'm not doing that or whatever, but that's not like, I think that's just kind of normal.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that, yeah, I mean, I think I'm most proud of that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, the quotation that spoke to me is, "You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress." Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
No, that does though. I love that. I love that quote. I used to be a real big quote person, but I'm not a big quote person anymore. Um, but that means nothing. That just means nothing. Uh, it means I don't have a desk and I don't have like a place to put like little note post-its of like because I used to put like things everywhere, right?
Yeah,
Um, but no, I love that idea though. You could be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. And I think that's true. I think that's very true. Um, I actually think that's kind of what I was just talking about. Like, the whole idea of, that you realize at some point in your life that you've come to a place where, oh, I do know what I'm doing. I am that masterpiece that I've created for so many years. But at the same time, it's a work in progress to achieve that sense of masterpiece over and over and over again. But you as the imperfection that you are, right? Not you
yeah, yeah,
or anybody, just you as in the whole you.
yeah,
Um, you as in the imperfection that you are is a masterpiece,
yeah,
and I think that that's very true and very real.
yeah.
So I love that quote. I'm going to make that my quote. Do you
Okay.
mind? Can I steal your quote?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
good. Okay, good.
Yeah. Um, well, that was my final question for you. It has been so much fun talking with you. I so appreciate your taking the time. You've made my day, so thank you.
Aw, that's so sweet of you. You've made my day, and I absolutely my pleasure. And it was very fun. You asked great questions.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.